Hi there. In this video, we will go through the instructions of the second assignment of IDEA. And just to highlight one point, that I'm going to use the same 3 Excel files that I uploaded on Brightspace for the second assignment. So with this in mind, let us go to IDEA. And here we will open a new project. So we'll go to Home, then New, and then I will create the project name, say assignment 2. Here I need to differentiate between the project for the first assignment and the second assignment. So this is the reason I created the second project. Once we create the project, we should get an empty space as you can see it. And now I need to bring the 3 Excel files, which you will have them on Brightspace, and we need to import them here. So all of them are Excel. So I will choose Excel. Then here on the ellipses, I will go to the, wherever you put the 3 files, I put them here on my folder. And the first one is payroll for contract. Next. And here you will see that the payroll ASIN master, this is the assignment master. The first row in the field is mentioned, and we will use 0. So you will leave all the settings in the default as it is. If those 2 boxes are not ticked, please tick them. And then we say, okay, and it should bring up the first file. I will do the same for the other 2 files. It's Excel. And then the second one is called expense. And here, I believe this one also, we will leave the default settings as they are. So we click OK. The last one is the master payroll file. It's also Excel file. And here is the file. Payroll master file. And here you need to pay attention for one thing. Please remove the check from here. So the first row will be the field names, but I don't like to use the zeros here because you see the termination date, it creates 0 because none of these employees were terminated except one. So when I remove the zeros, it will become clear for my eye to catch who was terminated. And I'm going to do some analysis on this lady in my work here. So please remove this check and click OK. And now you have the 3 files open. The first step we have it on the file is search for employees with similar last name. So what we usually do, we go for the payroll for contract, this one. And then we select analysis. So we go to analysis and then summarization. So here is summarization. And then in the file name box, we type similar name. So here you see the file name, we write similar names. Okay. And then set the field to summarize to last name. So you see here, first field to summarize. And instead of record, you will go for last name. And then Wait a minute. And then first name. So we have last name, we have first name. And then we check the hours and the gross. So we check here hours and gross. And once we do that, the summarization database will be highlighted. So here we click OK. So what happened is it tells me this summarization, it summarizes each employee with the number of receipts that has been received by that employee. And as you can see here, Alexander or Christine Alexander has all these receipts with all the payment rate and the gross. Now, we identify the fuzzy match because we need to check if any of those names are matching. So what shall we do? We click on duplicate key. So here we go for duplicate key. And then we go for fuzzy, which is the last option. Okay, and then we leave the options of output and the settings, these ones, if you can see the outputs and the settings as they are. But we click on the key. So here we click on this key. And here we have first name and last name. So we will choose here. First, I go for the last name. Why I do that? Because I need to do the matching by last name first. So I will add this one. And then first name, and I will add it here. And once we do that, we click OK. And then we click OK. Now we will see the fuzzy match. So based on this fuzzy match, what do we get? We say, from the similar name, this long list, and it could be longer in real life, the fuzzy duplicate it shows me here. You see, there are two similar names, Shirley, Koti, but when we come here, this is the group name. When we come to the spelling of the first name, it is Shirley, but Koti here ends with I and here with Y. And because of that, we see two different numbers of receipts under each name. So what does it tell me? The accountant was trying to create either intentionally or unintentionally two sets of receipts for two different persons by changing the last letter in the last name. And this would be the file that you need to submit in the assignment. So the first one you need to get is this fuzzy duplicate. If you send me similar names, that's fine, but the one that you will get a score for is this one. So fuzzy duplicate, here I show it in folder. And we know from the previous assignment, once we say we create the file, it's already saved. I take this one fuzzy duplicate and I say copy. And here in my folder, I created a folder, or you can create a folder anywhere in your desktop. And this one, I will call it idea assignment to files. So you know that the files that will have in this folder, those what you need to submit on Brightspace. And the first one is fuzzy duplicate. And fuzzy duplicate should show two names. And those two names, as you can see, it's the same first name, but a change in the second. So what I was trying to show that idea can help you to detect any spelling mistakes in the last name, which can create two different sets of accounts. Now let us move to the second part of the assignment, which is compliance with payroll rate 65, $80, $100, and $125. How can we see the compliance here? First, we'll go to the payroll for contractor, this one. By the way, once we finish, we can close those two files. I don't need them. I will keep working on the three main files all the time. So here, for the payroll file, I will go for analysis, and then I will go to summarization, and then I will do different thing here. So here, fields to summarize, we will click down and see the rate. So here, instead of record, I will go to the rate. And then we click the hours, and then gross, and then ENET. Okay. And then we click OK. Okay. Now, this file is the one that you need to submit on Brightspace. So we go to summarization, show in folder. And here I will copy it. And I go to the idea assignment 2 files and paste it. So now I have 2 files to submit. But now there is a question that you need to send me the answer on Brightspace. As you can see here, rate $65 has 228 receipts. And if you click on them, you will see here the long list. What I need from you, I need to check. If you click here on the approval, it will show you which ones or how many receipts were not approved under $65. From the 228 receipts, there are only 2 receipts were not approved. That's fine. But now I need you to go to $80, check the 92 receipts and see how many receipts were not approved. And then the same thing for 100 receipt and the same thing for $125 rate. You check the number of receipts for each one of those payment rates, and in Brightspace, you write one sentence. Which one of those 4 rates has the highest number of disapproval or no approval, or has the highest number of absence from approval? As you can see here, you don't need to send anything for me, by the way, except the number of receipts were not approved. You need to write one sentence in Brightspace saying the number of receipts for $100, for example, has the highest number of receipts that was not approved, and you write between brackets how many receipts were not approved. If you would like to write for me the number of receipts for each rate that was not approved, that's totally fine. It's extra. And I would be glad to see your answer on that. But at a minimum, you need to tell me how many receipts, which rate has the highest number of receipts that were not approved. And this would be the sentence that you need to put it on Brightspace. So now I finish summarization, which is the second part of the assignment. And let us go to the third part of the assignment, the salary payment after termination date. As we know here, Angelina, was terminated on January 4th, 2019. If you scroll down here, you will not see any employee was terminated except this one. Now, I need to use IDEA to tell me if this lady had received any payment or any salary after the termination. Because what happens is when the person is terminated, by default, the person doesn't take salary, but the accountant can issue salary slip and take the salary into his pocket. I need to ask IDEA to tell me the number of receipts that has been issued in the payroll summary that belongs to Teresa even after termination. So how can I do that? Then we click on the payroll for contract database. Because here I see all the employees, and as you can see, it's 986 records. And of course, Teresa is included here, but I don't know. If I go record by record to check them to see which receipt has been issued to Teresa after the termination date, it will take ages for me. So how can I do this one? Then we click on the key value. Where is the key value? It's here. You go to analysis and then key value. And in the key value here, we need to see the fields. Existing, click on existing key. And then here we check the fields and we go for the last name. Okay. And ascending. And then we say the second one, first name. So now I have last name and I have first name as a key value for the employees. Now it will show me all the employees here. I just need Teresa because Teresa is the only one who was terminated. So what we do is clear all and keep searching for Teresa. And luckily, Teresa is in the fourth one. So you click on Teresa. Okay. So here I see last name, first name, and I need to go for Teresa. And I click OK. Look what happened. It gives me all the receipts for Teresa that has been received. I just need to see only the ones after January 4th, 2019. So how can I do that? Then I will say summarization. Oh, no, sorry. I will go to criteria here. And I need to make equation. The equation is based on this date. So I will go here for date. Or you can write here date, by the way. And once you write, you get here date. I need the date to be after, so it should be higher than, and then we open parentheses, and then we put the date. The date here, it goes year, months, day. So we go for 2019, then 01, then 04. 4th of January, 2019. So I say, show me the date that is after this date. Validate. Yes, it is valid. So now I can run the equation. Now you can see, she received how many ones? 16 receipts after the termination. So now I need to go back to the accountant and ask him to show me these receipts after the termination and validate the reason for those receipts. This file is the one that you need to send me. So here we go for key val. So you go for this key val. We close it. Yeah. Once, because the criteria doesn't create another file, but it keeps existing here. And when you submit me the file, I will check here and see how many records. So please don't save your file unless you are sure that there are 16 records here, because if I see more than 16, it means you didn't do the criteria or the equation, and you will deduct it some points for that. So once we close this one, we go to the key val and then show in folder. And then we go to Google Drive, My Drive, system. So here I have 3 files to submit to Brightspace. The last point in this file is the disbursement that show in one database, but it doesn't show in another database. So what does it tell me? Here I have the payroll. The payroll are expenses or disbursement. And here I have the expenses. So I expect that the expenses here of the payroll are mentioned here and vice versa. So I need to check the expenses that were not included in one database. So we select the co-expense payroll file, which is the second one. And then we click on analysis and then join. So here we need to join the database. Okay. And note that the primary database here, it should be the co-expense. Okay, and the secondary database here, it should be payroll for contractor. So here I go for select and I go for payroll for contractor. So now I need to join those databases, and the first one, which we call it the primary database, it's co-expense. The secondary database is payroll for contract. Okay, and now we go for the records with no secondary database. What does it mean? It is an expense, but it was not included in the payroll database. This is what I mean by some information in one database, but it doesn't exist in the second database. Okay. And once we join the database, then we go for the match key here. So when I join the database, match key, and then we select the primary key here, it's record, and the secondary record. It means I'm going to join the two databases by the record number. So please remember to match, how to match the joining process between the two databases. Okay, and then we click OK. Here you see Mary Perez. Let me go here and check Mary Perez. I sort the first name here alphabetically, and I see Mary Perez here. And let me go to the payroll. Also check the first name and scroll down. You see here Marie and then Martin. So this can tell you there are 11 records in the payroll database were not included in the, in the co-expense payroll, but were not included in the payroll for contractor database. And this would be the last file you need to submit. So we go to join database, show in folders, and here you go for join database, copy, and then go here for idea assignment 2, make paste. And now you have those 4 files, idea files, plus the sentence that you need to write on Brightspace. And this would be the submission you need to do it for the second assignment. I hope you find these 2 assignments of idea are quite useful for you to understand the different functions of idea that we use it in forensic accounting to make some kind of discovery or red flags that might help us to investigate the issue further. Thank you so much. And if you need anything, please let me know. Bye.